Hi, I'm Jacob Gallucci, and right now I'd like to talk about times in my life when I've been sick. And fortunately, I've never really been seriously ill, and I've never had like when I was younger, I never had any of like the diseases. Like I never had the chicken pox, I never had the measles or the mumps as well, and fortunately, I've never had any broken bones. And I never had to get my tonsils or appendix removed either. So I've been very lucky. I also have never had any teeth problems. I never had to wear braces, and I don't, believe it or not, I don't have wisdom teeth either. I really don't. It's weird, but I don't have wisdom teeth. And I've heard that getting them out is really painful. So I'm fortunate that I don't have wisdom teeth. But anyway, here are some times when I've been sick. When I was a little kid, like we're talking like when I was in like kindergarten, first and second grade, I was sick occasionally. I had a couple colds a year, and I didn't miss school often. I probably missed a couple days of school in kindergarten, first and second grade. In third grade, I vomited at home. I didn't vomit much, but in third grade, I was sick at home one day and I vomited. Another time, I vomited in school, actually. I was in fifth grade. It was in late May of 1999. I was in fifth grade. It was at the end of the day, and I had eaten a sandwich that day, and the lunch meat wasn't good apparently, because during gym class I was lethargic and I was weak and I didn't feel well at all. And at the end of class that day, I threw up all over like the tables and the floor and the carpet, and I felt like shit. It was awful. Another time I was sick, I vomited in sixth grade. It was late January to early February of 2000. I remember it was after Super Bowl 34, the classic game with the Rams and the Tennessee Titans. That's the one where the Rams stopped the Titans at the 1 yard line. And I remember eating brown chicken and chili that night with my mom and dad, and I didn't feel well afterwards. And I vomited. I actually vomited, and I had to miss the next day of school. That Monday, I was really sick. It was the first time I had missed a day of school since second grade. I swear to God, I had perfect attendance from third through fifth grade. In seventh grade, I vomited. I remember it was during the 2000 election with George W. Bush and Al Gore. It wasn't because of the election, no, actually, but I had gone to this restaurant called Bella Notte on Grand and Noble in Chicago, and it was at Grand Avenue and Noble. It's still there, and I went with my dad and a friend of his, and it was on election day, and I didn't have school that day, and I ate there, and as time went by that day, I felt awful, and I just didn't feel well, and eventually I vomited, and I was sick. I didn't have to miss school the next day, though. I felt better by the next day. In eighth grade, I vomited. I was really sick. I had to miss school, I remember. And let's see what else. High school, I was fortunate. I didn't miss a single day of school in high school. I swear to God, I had perfect attendance when I was in high school. It's true, I did. But in Thanksgiving of 2006, that was when I was at UIC, and it was the day before Thanksgiving, Black Wednesday, and it was the last day of school before Thanksgiving break. I was really sick that day. I had diarrhea. I hate to talk about it, but I was really sick. I had diarrhea. I was vomiting. I felt really weak, and I was really sick, and I had to miss school that day. And unfortunately, the sickness carried into Thanksgiving, and I barely ate anything on Thanksgiving. And the sickness spread to my parents. They couldn't eat much either. And also during the 2008 election, I had a horrible earache, and I was really dizzy too. I had to stay in bed, and I had a heating pad on my ear. The heating pad helped me. It got rid of the earache, and it was weird that I was sick during that election too. It was the second election. It was the second time during an election when I was really sick. During the 2000 election, I was sick as well. I vomited, and there were other times I've been really ill too. After eating at Al's Beef on Taylor Street, I got sick. I ate there on December 3rd, 2004, and that was a Thursday night. And the next night, it was a Friday, I went to a Bulls game. They were playing the Miami Heat, and I had to leave the game at halftime. I had the cold sweats, and when I shit, my shit was black. I had diarrhea. I was really sick. I don't think I vomited, but I was really sick. And I haven't eaten from Al's since then. After 10 years, I still have not eaten Al's beef, and it's not worth it, believe me. It's not that good. If you want a good Italian beef sandwich, go to Portillo's. Trust me. When I ate a Brown's Chicken once. It was in Jefferson Park, not far from the Blue Line. I ate there, and I took the Blue Line back, and while I was on the train, I felt really sick. My stomach was rumbling, and I couldn't make it home. So I stopped at Borders. It's closed now, but I stopped at the Borders at Randolph and State Street, and I had to shit there. I was so sick. I had diarrhea. I didn't vomit, but I shit, and I had diarrhea. It was all liquid, and it was black. It was horrible. Unfortunately, there was no toilet paper there. There were only like little bits of toilet paper, so I had to stop shitting. Then I went next door to Argo Tea, and I shit there, and thankfully there was toilet paper there. Let's see what else. Well, I had laryngitis once when I was at Columbia College. It was in the fall of 2010, and I could barely talk that day. I had a sore throat, and I had laryngitis, and I could barely talk. I sounded like shit that day. I really did. It's the only time in my life that I think I had laryngitis. And the most recent time I was sick was late June until early July of this year. For 10 days, from about June 24th and 25th until about the 4th of July, I was really sick. I was dizzy. I had the cold sweats, and I had like panic attacks too. I really did. You know what it was? I had a pillow. I had like this pillow that wasn't flat. It was a pillow. It was a pillow that when I slept on it, it went down. Then when I got up, it went back up, and it messed up my head. And I was really dizzy. And it was my diet too. I had eaten too many sweets recently. Like I had eaten like a ton of granola bars and candy bars and a ton of like frozen yogurt and like the granola bars, like the Nutri-Grain bars, I would eat like 4 of them at a time, and there were times I would eat like the whole box of 8 of them, and there's a shitload of sugar in those. Yes, I used to ate like a lot of Italian ice as well, and ice cream and gelato and a bunch of other sweet things, and eating all the sweets caught up to me, and I've had to change my diet. And another thing that messed me up was that I didn't eat much earlier in the day. I wouldn't eat normally till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's not good. Now I've been eating earlier. I eat usually now by like 11 or 12 o'clock, and since I've changed my diet, I haven't had any problems with dizziness or anything. Thank God. But anyway, fortunately, I haven't been sick that much in my life, and also, there's another time I was sick. I forgot to mention this. Thanksgiving of last year, I was really sick. Again on Thanksgiving. It's the second time I was really sick around Thanksgiving. I had eaten Rosebud, and I ate like the leftovers at home. It was this pasta dish, and it had red sauce, like the marinara sauce, and I ate that, and I ate it cold, unfortunately, and it laid in my stomach like lead. It was a Tuesday night, and then going into Wednesday, I was like vomiting, and I had diarrhea. I was really sick and really weak, and the sickness spread to my parents. They got sick too. Once again, I barely ate anything on Thanksgiving, and they barely ate anything too. It was awful. It really was. But anyway, I'm sorry for rambling. But anyway, I'll be back in the next few days with a couple new videos. And anyway, until then, take care.